Hello, what is the crack? Today's episode is my part 2 with dating coach Erika Ettin. She will be offering advice to questions that some of you sent in, tips for meeting people in real life, but also changing your negative attitude towards the apps. She's also going to give tips on choosing the best dating app pictures. After that, we will be talking to a blind date that I set up, James and Lucia, so stay tuned to hear how that went. First, we're going to launch into some advice to your questions from Erika. Two people here basically had the same question.
Okay.
And I don't think that you can help in this, but more change their mentality, because they were saying, one lady said, apps are a cesspit nowadays. How else can we meet people for dating? And another girl said, I've had 2 dates in 4 years. The apps just do not seem to work for me. Have you got any tips for meeting in real life? But
I do,
do
but
you? Nice.
yes, but the attitude is the first thing. So it's not the dating apps. The dating apps are a tool. Some people are terrible. But the product of the dating apps is people. Like, people are the ones on there. So the dating apps are just facilitating you getting to dates. Do I think technology makes people's behaviors reprehensible sometimes? Yes, I do. I think people hide behind a screen often. I think people ghost, and it's really awful. I think people have no accountability anymore. That stinks. But it's not the apps, it's people. However, I have a list of places where one might let me pull out my notes. Okay. Hold on. Talk amongst yourself. Okay, here we go. So I wrote down, I've been keeping a list of the last several years of where people have asked for me personal information. That's not to say I'm available. That's not to say I'm interested, but it's where people have approached me and asked for my number or a date. So ideas of where I have been physically. A comedy show. Let's see. A bar. A comedy class. So sometimes like taking an improv class or like a
Improv, yeah.
stand-up class. The dog park. The gym. A birthday party. Oh, I recommend saying yes to every birthday party you're ever invited to, because friends of friends. That's a great way to meet people. Another birthday party. Oh, I took a freestyle rap class once. That was fun. A, a whiskey festival. A wedding. A concert. A party for the gym. Oh, a book launch party. So like something that's interesting to you anyway, maybe where somebody is speaking. A fundraising gala, my sidewalk. Okay, that doesn't count.
Those are good.
Photography class, um, French store. I don't even know what that means. A magic show. So basically doing stuff you already enjoy where you're going to be in your element, and then you're more yourself when you talk to people. I generally recommend going to 3 events per month that get you a little bit outside your comfort zone. So maybe one is a dating event, maybe like a speed dating event or a singles type thing. And then 2, grab a friend if you want, go to a comedy show, talk to people there, take an improv class, try some sort of communal restaurant where you have to sit with other people.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I was going to ask you
Take out
what your
your
thoughts are on
earbuds and
singles
actually
nights.
say hi to people. Take out your earbuds and say hello. And also talk to people in elevators.
Wow, Jesus.
Is that against Irish culture? Would I be shunned?
Oh, elevator. I'd just be like, what number? Okay.
Oh, I love talking to people in elevators.
I think everybody just needs to, yeah, push themselves out there more, just by a little fraction, and maybe they'd see some results. But yeah, no, it is hard to do it if you're so used to kind of, not rejection, but more so that things aren't really happening for you.
Well, yeah, and if you believe it's not going to happen, then there's no more personal accountability. Well, it's all the men or it's all the people. So there's nothing I can. There is stuff you can do. And it's probably going to take longer than you want it to. And it's probably going to cost more money than you want it to. And it's probably going to
Mm.
be a little frustrating. But the same would be true, right? If you were looking for a new job, or maybe you had some like health goal. These things don't happen immediately. Like the woman you said who went on 3 dates in a month and they were all bad. I mean, that would be the equivalent of what? Having 3 job interviews in a month and everyone hating everyone. And what are you going to say? Well, I'm not going to work? Of course not.
Yeah, no, that's true. The final one that I thought I could bring up here was a lady who was struggling with her self-image, and she asked,
Mm.
does weight matter? Sad face.
That's a that's a tough one. I would not wait to put yourself out there until you're fill in the blank, whatever word, healthier,
Mm.
thinner, happier, this, that, the other, whatever your goal is. I wouldn't wait for that because you deserve, as everyone else does, to find what you're looking for. There are people out there looking for you, whatever you look like, whoever you are, wherever you live. Okay, so read the question again.
She just said, does weight matter? Question mark, sad
I
face.
can't lie that people are visual.
Yeah.
I can't sugarcoat that. In a digital world where we're all looking at pictures, people are visual and people are going to make their own judgments for better or for worse, regardless of what you look like. Could be your hair color, could be your earring. It doesn't matter. So, does it matter? I would say more important is how you feel about yourself. Because the more confident you feel in yourself, obviously that's going to come across
Yeah.
and people will think more highly of you. And so I know that's a tough one to answer. So does it matter? Who am I to say? I just want you to present the best version of you today to people. And, you know, some people will want exactly that.
Well, true. The pictures, you said that you help people to get the best pictures. What would you recommend for them to do there? There'd be few, I've come across a few male, obviously I'm looking at male profiles, but I'm not
Mhm.
anymore, but I was. And they would have, pictures that are extremely close up on their face, pictures
I
taken
mean,
from
men
the,
are notoriously bad at this. Okay. So generally, I want you
yeah.
to have a nice, clear shot of your face. Smiling wouldn't hurt anyone. Teeth are good. Um, and then a full body shot. I mean, people are quite simple. They just want to see who's showing up on the date. Nothing more, nothing less. So as long as they can see your face and what your general figure looks like, everybody's happy. Other than that, just pictures of you in your element, doing something interesting, whatever those many hobbies we just discussed are, doing one of those. Um, that's it. That's what people need to see before going on the date. Who's going to walk in the door?
I agree. The pictures of face, body, and then men has come to me and said, oh, I was told not to have any group shots at all. But then when I was looking at their pictures, I was like, you don't look like you're having fun at all here. I actually don't know what you enjoy doing. Do you have friends? I don't know because I can't really tell. And I think that like a couple of group shots or action shots are great.
Action shot, great. Group shots, I would crop them so that it's very clear whose profile it is. Because when you do have a group shot, it's too easy to one, think your friend is more attractive, or two,
Oh,
not even figure out who you are. I don't mind if there's some shoulders of friends next to you. At least it shows you were doing something and have, like you said, just someone in their element, whatever that means.
so I have a couple of screenshots here that I took off your Instagram page, and
Oh
I,
boy.
I, I love this Instagram. I find it
Thank
wildly
you so
entertaining.
much. Thank you.
I would recommend everybody go on and have a look at it. This first one was a lady has something about enjoying sushi on her profile.
Oh my God, the sush couple. Oh my God.
God bless him. Like he wrote to her and said, Lauren, Bumble says you're my perfect match. Let's see if they know what they're talking about. And she said, perfect match, huh? That feels like a lot of pleasure. Pressure. I just fell for the line about sushi. So sorry, the man had it about sushi. And then he
Yeah.
replied and said, you feel pressure and I feel liked for my love of raw fish. So this girl thought that he was talking about her vagina or making some sort of vaginal joke.
First of all, if someone's calling it raw fish, we got big problems. But
But your advice on that, like she
she
thought that
was
it was,
sending it to me basically as an example of a guy being creepy. And I called her out on it and I said, sushi is raw fish. He was having a cute little banter with you. I seriously thought he meant nothing
No, so did I.
Oh,
And I voted on that poll and said he meant nothing. Her
most people did.
message to you was weeded himself out in record time. And then an emoji with his, like a frustrated emoji. Why? And you were like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. I'm straight to the point. I don't have time for this.
Well, like definitely looking for problems where there are none. Like, and I suppose I think a lot of people, or maybe specifically women, can say that they're so on high alert about these men who are overly sexual or whatever that,
Well, right. So they try to prove themselves right. And I will say a lot of men are gross and are overly sexual. This just wasn't one of them.
yeah. There's another one here. Hey, Erica, I know you can't respond to every DM.
Wait,
I've
wait,
just
wait,
been
wait. We have to
spying.
go back to the sushi.
Oh, you would?
Yeah. So she felt so guilty on the first date that she told him that she sent me, a dating coach, on Instagram. This is hilarious. She felt so guilty that she told him on their first date that she had sent the conversation to me and I had shared it because in case he found it on his own, she didn't want to feel weird. And so this is crazy. He wrote to me himself, the guy wrote to me and said, "Thank you for telling Lauren because I meant nothing by it." And so he and I had a nice little exchange.
And are they still dating? Is there any update on it?
Yeah. So I posted an update 3 weeks later. They were still dating.
Oh my God.
I know.
Unbelievable.
I
I must have
know.
missed that.
Isn't that
God,
incredible?
well, she's lucky, and you can pat yourself on the back for that, for setting her
Oh, I
straight.
did. I told them if they ever get married, I'm eating all the sushi at their wedding. All of it.
Oh, the poor man, though. I'm surprised. I think if I was him and she had told me that she immediately went to there in her mind, I'd be like, oh, bit of a
Well,
negative
I didn't
Nancy.
post the whole conversation. She did it a few times. He said something else, and she goes, "Another innuendo?" And he's like, "I don't, there was no innuendo." Like, if you, again, kind of like before, if you believe that everyone is something, you will find every reason under the sun to prove yourself right. And I am so glad she asked me because they would have never gone out.
And look at
And
them
so
now,
he
going
actually
strong.
sent me a picture of them on their third date at a sushi restaurant.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, I'm glad.
Okay,
I'm
next, I'm
glad it's
ready now.
working out, and maybe she might cop on a bit. Okay, so Erica, I have been spiraling and extremely sad because I had a great date yesterday, early afternoon, with a guy who was closer to what I want than any guy I've ever dated. We hit it off. I haven't heard from him since we parted. He doesn't seem like a big texter, but I still thought he would reach out by now because he gave every indication that he would be interested in seeing me again. I don't want to take the lead here because I planned the first date. I honestly don't know what to do and it's killing me.
Yep.
So I would say there's a lot of people who would relate to that.
Hmm.
And I felt the need to bring it up to kind of discuss it and how women,
Yep.
or not women, everyone, or a lot of people would get way too invested on the first date and then
Right.
putting all their eggs in that one basket. I have your response here. So you said just thank him, your fave. You love and I'll thank you.
I do love a thank you.
And you said, but you also need to check yourself. You've only met this person for a few hours, so you're banking on potential. I hope he wants to see you again, but if he doesn't, all will be okay. And I'm not sure why you planned the first date and it wasn't more collaborative or him planning. I understand the excitement, of course. It's hard to find that connection. Also, it's only been a day. It is very
I couldn't
important.
say it better myself than I already said it. I even posted something similar today. I don't know if you saw already. It was a woman who said she went on a date last night. They left at 10 p.m. and at 1:20 p.m. today, she hadn't heard from him and said, "Is he ghosting me? I don't know. He's probably at work." Sometimes we get too invested too soon, which is why I have my little acronym NATO, not attached to outcome. Because when we attach ourselves so much to I want whatever, a long-term relationship, a spouse, whatever it is, we see everything as a means to an end to getting there. And we see everything short of that as a failure. And I would rather we just look at people as they are. It was a nice first date. I sure hope they go on a second date. I have no idea. We don't really know this person that much. And that's what I wanted to get across. Like, he may seem like closer to what you're looking for than you've ever found, but seem is the key word. You had a great first date. Let's leave it at that. And how about give yourself a chance to be excited about the fact that you even could have a great first date? Because it had probably been a long time, it sounds like, since an equally good first date. So, like, bask in the glory. I told someone yesterday her homework was to bask in the glory of a good first date for a week.
There are lots of bad dates out there. There are lots of times when you meet a weirdo. There's people who make you uncomfortable. There's times when it's just
Yep.
awkward. So, like, if
Mm-hmm.
something is just like a nice time, and when I put up updates of any dates that I've gone on, I would say, like, it was a lovely date. We were in a lovely pub. He was good
Right.
fun. Wasn't anything there, but it was a nice
Exactly.
time.
And I understand the excitement. I don't want to quell that excitement. Like, I get the excitement and it's fun. It's fun to feel excitement about a first date. It's almost like she's disregarding her own feelings about the date. So rather than enjoying the fact that she had a really good date, she's so darn worried about how he felt and was it good for him and will he follow up that she completely negated the fact that she had a really nice first date.
It's a pity. Now, this one here is, as you said yourself, off brand.
Oh,
However,
I know which one.
this is something that I disagreed with you on. So I
Whoa,
felt the
I love
need.
a disagreement. Okay.
This girl
How
ended it
delicate do
with
we need
this
to be?
guy. You know, we actually don't need to be delicate, but I just find it, I'm just trying to make sure everybody gets a
I
good
always worry
grasp
because
on
I
what we're
no,
talking
I
about.
know. I know my mother follows me on Instagram, so I always worry about stuff like
Oh, really? I told my family just don't listen because
yep,
sometimes
yep.
I gave a bit of tidbit of information about my own personal life and they're all just best off not knowing.
Yep.
So a girl finished it with this guy and then the guy sent her this text
Hmm.
after she finished it and this is what his text said. A few comments about my actions with your dog when I felt like I was being fine. I guess what annoyed me the most was the fact that you pointed out that you find it hard to finish literally as I'm fucking you and felt the need to use a vibrator for more pleasure. But hey ho, it is what it is. I guess there was too many negative conversations for early days of getting to know someone for my liking. So
So
it was more the part about you then gave advice on the whole vibrator thing. So you
I did.
responded to her and said, wow, and if a man is so insecure that you can't use your vibrator during sex, that's the end.
I did say
And
that.
in your caption, you said, I know it's a little bit off brand from what I normally post, and I'm not trying to break the internet here, but if someone prioritizes their pleasure over yours and somehow feels offended when you want to pleasure yourself, it's a no. And I know it can feel tricky to bring up that you want to use a toy, but trust me, it's okay with the right person. How it felt like there, she kind of whipped it out.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't know. And if that were the case, then I disagree with myself. If
okay.
if it's the case that you're in the moment and she's like, "Oh, hey, I'm just going to grab this." Yeah, I would say that would be inappropriate and off-putting for anyone. However, the way he phrased it in that text was also pretty, you know.
Fucking. I
Yeah, I
hate
just
that.
how do you get over like I mean that's basically I'm doing this thing to you. What are you, a sex dummy, you know? And so plus I don't even know what he did to the dog. I don't want to know.
You're like, that's
Sounds like he
so.
was pretty rough with the dog. I think in my advice I was pretty set off by his phrasing of when I was effing you
Yeah.
that I had to side with her because that kind of language tells me what I needed to know, which is basically you are a plaything for me.
But he doesn't seem like a good fella anyway, from his
No,
little
he
bit of
doesn't. But
text.
right, but the bigger conversation, yeah, I agree. If somebody's just going to whip out toys or whatever, no, that could be extremely uncomfortable. However, in the bigger picture, since we're talking about it, I mean, like one of the commenters said, like the vibrator is your teammate, not your enemy. And so I think as long as you have a conversation about it in advance and both people are on the same page, that can be productive.
When I was reading it, and when I first thought that she whipped it out, I was like, that the man would be shocked and
I would be
like
shocked too. If that's the
take it
case,
as a
yep.
slight upon him that he couldn't do it. But like obviously if it's down the line, I would say like a couple of months of trying and the woman, maintains that there's, she can't. And then he'd be like, fair enough. But it looks like here, like it would be like me having sex with a man and he whips out a fleshlight and then starts riding the fleshlight beside me. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, I see them as different because with the vibrator, you can enjoy it together and everybody wins. Whereas a fleshlight, you're now not
no,
part of the picture. Okay,
no
we can agree to disagree on
way.
this.
But when I read it, it was funny because it was a bit like, oh, she never
I didn't know
posts
what kind of
anything like
reaction.
this.
Well, and I didn't know what kind of reaction I was going to get because I don't usually post sexual stuff like that, but I was pleasantly surprised by the reaction I got.
But yeah, no, that was it. That was the last one. We're finishing on a high.
Oh, Anna, what kind of I don't know what kind of note we're finishing on, but at least we're finishing. Heyo.
We're finished. Woohoo! Yeah. But yeah, we'll finish up now. And was there anything else that you think that the people of Ireland to just get them through and like, to help with maybe the fatigue of swiping and dating? general tips on kind of what you would give your clients to help them.
Sure. I understand the fatigue and it's real, and I don't want to overlook that. I would say, maybe put limits for yourself on how much you're logging into the apps. Maybe it's 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening, so you can't get too swipe happy with it, and you can't get addicted to it. If you match with someone, try to have a conversation immediately with them. It's not helping to have just a bunch of matches in there. Newer doesn't mean better. Go through some of your old matches. I bet someone amazing is in there, right? And then the rest is a mindset shift rather than thinking of, ugh, this is a means to an end. I just want to find my person. I have to go on another date. You have to think to yourself, okay, I'm going to meet a new person tonight. Maybe make a list of places you really want to try and go down that list for all of your dates. So at least if it's not a date you want to see again, you've enjoyed the place. Try to learn something from any of the dates. And so I understand that frustration and that fatigue, and I don't have any magical answers other than to give sort of some best practices and some rules of thumb to make online dating feel more manageable.
Yeah, no, it is. You have such a good, healthy mindset for everything. So
Thank you.
I think those are some really good tips. And yeah, again, it's a little nudge. So if you're looking her up, Erika Ettin, thank you so much, Erika.
Oh my gosh, this was so fun. Thank you.
That was the second and final part of my chat with dating coach Erika Ettin. Next up is my blind date segment. I put up some videos on TikTok offering my matchmaking services, and I got people to fill in a matchmaking form. And here we are. Today we're chatting to James and Lucia. James is 32, a tour guide from Dublin who enjoys podcasting, gigs, hiking, dystopian books and chess. He likes bubbly, straightforward ladies who are passionate about their hobbies. Lucia is a 32-year-old South American who lives in Dublin, loves fitness, especially pole dancing, also likes hiking and festivals, and is looking for a decent man who doesn't get sexual too soon and isn't on the sesh every weekend with the lads. Funnily enough, she also likes white, pale-skinned men with baby faces and cute smiles. Perfect. James, I thought that you fit the bill there. Give me a little bit of backstory on kind of just the general love life and how the apps are going, that kind of stuff.
I was in like a long relationship just before COVID, kind of long distance, and then that broke up. And then during and post COVID, there was a couple of hodgepodge dates here and there, kind of from apps and stuff. And I just found the apps really disheartening. It's very hard for a conversation to continue. It's very hard to have a bit of crack with someone. Yeah,
and then you talk about the same stuff over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. And you go out and either get rat-arsed and then it's a waste of time, or you just go out and you never feel a kind of click. It just feels really cordial. So I couldn't really figure out the middle balance, and I just figured dating apps are shite. So when I saw you put up that thing, I was like, oh yeah, fuck it. Let's see if someone else does it. And then you'll skip all the boring small talk and you just get thrown in with each other. And I think that's a great way to do it. A coffee where no one walks away feeling bad. You have a nice time with someone, and then if it clicks, it clicks. And if it doesn't click, it doesn't click.
And how were you feeling before the date? Were you nervous, or what was it like?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah, it was a good bit. Like I hadn't thought about it for a while, and then it suddenly was happening. And I was like, oh shit! Like I wasn't really. I don't know. You just go in and try and be your best self, I guess. And not overthink it.
You've never been on a blind date before, I assume.
No. One time I had a blind date where we were in like a pitch black restaurant, but I knew the person.
Oh, cool! That's really cool. That's like from that film.
Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, it's very weird. You can't see each other at all for the whole meal. It's really strange. All the waiters have like night vision goggles on.
Was it in a different country, or was it in Dublin?
Yeah, not Ireland. Yeah, somewhere else.
Well, that's an idea there for somebody to come up with, because I think that would be class actually for dates. That was in that film About Time with that ginger fella.
Oh, was it? Oh, yeah, it was a great idea. It was a lot of fun, and it's real silly, and it's really funny, and like you're half feeding each other half the time, and it's just really weird. It's really, really weird.
Right. So tell me, how did the date go? Let's get into it.
It went really well. When you said she's into fitness, I got a little nervous because I feel like I feel like people who are into fitness are very, very like body conscious, and they're very like toned and all that sort of stuff. Which I'm not. Like I like pints. I'm not in particularly. I'm fit enough, but I'm not in great shape. So that when I hear people are into fitness, I'd be like, well, she's not going to be into me because I'm not really her type of person, I guess. So that was in my head. But the date itself, like she was really, really, really lovely, really friendly, really nice. But I just kind of felt we were on two different wavelengths. Like we had a very nice chat, and it wasn't rushed or anything, and we got along. But I just felt like we weren't right for each other, I guess. I don't know. I think I said this to you. A younger me would have said like a date too, because I fancied her. Like she's beautiful, And a younger me would have wanted to see her again. But an older me with like a little bit of like, it's not really right at the core. There's no point in trying, going on.
Dragging it out, just because
the
you think they're good
spark wasn't
looking.
really there.
And your first
So,
impression, so when she walked in, were you delighted with yourself?
yeah, they sat us upstairs and I was looking, and then obviously, like, when someone walks up and you can kind of tell if they're kind of looking around too. And I was like, oh, Lucia. And we sat down and we had like, it was a lovely Dolce something. You picked the place, really lovely spot for first date.
Yeah, what is that? Was a cafe? Yeah, what in Dublin? I've actually never been there. I've heard it mentioned a few times.
It's a fancy Italian place that does lovely little cakes and coffees and stuff. So it was a really lovely place for it. So she sat down and we just kind of like, I guess that part is I'm a bit like, it's naturally easy to chat to someone, but it's how do you chat to someone and kind of suss if you're a good click for each other without using the staple crutch that I would usually use, which is, having a rake of pints or a few.
Yeah.
So,
how long was the date?
Yeah. About an hour. I think she took a lunch hour off her job. So then I walked her back to Lewis and she went back to work. So she kind of, just fitted into her schedule pretty perfectly, kind of.
So you had a nice time, you were chatting away, and then like what happened at the end?
She said she would maybe drink once a month, which is fine. I don't know. I don't drink that often, maybe once or twice a week or whatever. And it said, the way she kind of said, like, oh, I'm very careful how I drink because it throws off my calorie intake. That's just not me. Like I'm way more chaotic with my lifestyle as opposed to, I'll only drink once a month because of the calories and stuff. Like it's just something I would never even factor in. I wouldn't even think about, So I think she kind of felt the same way. I don't know. Actually, you never said how she felt ever, and I thought, I don't.
You were both fairly similar when you replied about that. It was a lovely date and really nice people, good chats and whatever, but probably just not the best fit, more friendly kind of thing.
Yeah,
which was grand. And it's nice that you had a nice time. I just thought, I suppose I didn't know the level. Like I know that you're great at the owl hikes, so to me, I would be like, you have a good fitness level. And then when she said she'd be into fitness, I didn't know to what degree she was really into that fitness,
Yeah.
So, but you both said that you wanted, good conversation, and you both seemed smart and liked music and gigs and festivals and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, and then unfortunately.
Yeah. And we had a lot of common things that we hit. But yeah, I don't know how you just kind of know, but you just kind of know. There wasn't like the spark or the crack or something there that made it like, when you're just smiling all the time like a feckin' Aegis, or it just didn't quite have that sort of. No, I walked her to Lewis, gave her a hug and said goodbye. That was it. I didn't swoop in for any try to wear the face off or anything there,
At 2:00 in the middle of the day at the Lewis store.
Yeah, exactly. You see, I had a couple of dates before this where I guess it's such a fine line because one of my friends loves the idea of it and other friends think it's horrible. Where the date went kind of well, and then I was just like, oh, feck it, can I kiss you? But asking can you kiss someone is real kind of cringe. It's not. Friends of mine were saying like guys or girls, and it doesn't matter. They were just kind of saying like you should infer it from the date and just go. You should know whether it's something appropriate to go for or not based on how the date went. So asking is just kind of like a cowardly way to do it, I think.
I know. Well, so a lot of people are into like consent and whatever. Personally, I don't like it. However, my boyfriend actually, the first time he went in for the kill, asked me, could he go in for the kill? And
was it a turn off?
No, I liked him enough for it to be okay, I suppose. I don't know, but I would be quite happy for somebody to just pick up on the vibes and go in for the kill. But I do respect men who feel the need to ask because they don't want to shove their face in your face. If you're not
I've a friend who had her 20s were probably not great with the whole consent stuff. And she says to me, like, asking, can I kiss you is the sexiest thing in the world. And I have another friend who thinks it's the most disgusting, cringeworthy thing in the world. I know. It's a hard fucking balance to get right,
Different strokes for different folks and all that.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I think we both were on the same page with each other. So we I don't feel like we're wasting each other's time. I think we both had a really nice time, great chat. Yeah. We did get along on music fronts and all that sort of stuff. But it just, I feel like, someone who'd be heavily into fitness, I guess I'm just probably the wrong fit for it, to be honest. I feel like I'd probably be way more attracted to her than she would be to me. I'm just sheer pragmatically. I'm not saying this in, I'm a pretty confident individual. Yeah, I feel like fitness and hiking are two very different categories,
Jesus, it's not to me, but I get you. I do get you. And right, give me an update on the love life now. We'll finish it up with this. How are you getting on?
Well, I was seeing someone for a while, and then we took it very, very, very slow. So after about 3 months, we decided to go for it. So
Boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So she was just out of something fairly
Congratulations.
serious. So she was going real tentative and really slow because she kind of the way she phrased it, she didn't want to carry the baggage of that bad relationship into something new. And I was kind of hadn't had one for a long time, so I was very eager to jump into one when I
Oh,
felt like I
fair.
was with the right person. But again, that wasn't a Tinder special. That was just like my housemate had a friend, and she was like, "I'm going for dinner with this friend. Dress nice and come with me." So the organic is so lovely and so rare and hard to get the older you
Oh
get,
my
I think.
God. That is
Yeah.
such a, you got very lucky there. That never
Yeah, I
happens.
made an instant connection. So
Congratulations.
yeah. Thanks. We'll see. It's still early days, but so far it's been really lovely.
Like, feck's sake. Like, I always wanted to meet somebody in real life. All of my ex-boyfriends, I had met them in real life. And then I was just flat out there, 50 plus dates completely through apps. Not one of
Yeah.
them I
Yeah.
had met through in real life. But obviously it can be done. You just need friends that are going to
It can
introduce
be.
you to
It
people.
is. It is just harder. It's definitely harder. Like I don't know. This was the year I was like, okay, look, I'm get off the apps, and reaching out to you, I guess, was one of the a very easy thing to do as well, because I could reach out to you and be like, hey, can you organize and do all the hard work? Whereas the other hard work is going on fucking singles hikes and doing that sort of stuff, which I find very intimidating. I find well
Mm.
out of my comfort zone, and I didn't quite make it to that level yet. The singles hiking or like the speed dating
Running.
and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
No, no, Jesus Christ, no. uh, but like just yeah, that stuff for me, I just would have been a little bit too uncomfortable, I think. But
Fair.
had this not happened the way it happened, I think I would have kept advocating for myself. You have to just keep advocating. You're not gonna
Ramping up.
this old romantic fucking teenage mopey old romantic vision I had where you're gonna sit there and the perfect person's gonna like knock at your door. No, you have to want if you want this, you need to change your circumstances to try and make it happen. I think.
Yeah, exactly. But like if you're not putting yourself out there, somebody's not going to break into your sitting room. You need to, I suppose, put yourself in as many situations as possible to meet people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So now, and again, I got lucky in this, the way this kind of worked out, I guess. Yeah, I think this was the year where I was going to really not just sit around and mope and be sad and want to be in a relationship. I was like, well, there's a difference between wanting to be in a relationship and trying to be in a relationship or trying to meet people and see where they go, where it goes.
Yeah.
But now that being said, like three of my friends are married and they met through the apps. Three of my buddies are literally
Yeah.
married to their Tinder partner. So, but now I don't know if the heyday of the app's gone because these are all they met like 5+ years ago. So part of me feels like the apps are dying a death, and I wonder is that real or not. So I don't know.
I don't know. Why people do like the apps do work for some people, but I suppose other people just lose hope. But anyway, I'm happy for you and best of luck to you in your new relationship.
Cheers and thanks for setting it up.
So now we have Lucia with us. Lucia, thanks so much for coming on to talk to us, and thanks so much for agreeing to be match made.
Hi, thank you so much for making me part of the experiment. I had such a great time and for making this call today as well.
Ah, brilliant. Lucia, where can you tell me a little bit about yourself? Where are you from? What age are you?
Well, I'm from Venezuela and I live in Ireland for 10 years now, and I'm 32 years old. I work in IT. Yeah, I've been single 5 years and dating on dating apps and off dating apps as well. So that's a bit of my single experience.
You said you like pale white. I thought that was interesting. So you wouldn't
Yeah.
date like you're obviously quite tanned being from Venezuela, but you wouldn't go for you're not interested in tanned men. You like the pale men.
I don't mind it. I guess it depends on chemistry and first impressions and stuff. But I will usually go for more pale men. Yeah.
Now I set you up and I thought now on paper it was good. I know you are very into your fitness. You do a lot of you're in the gym a lot. You also do pole dancing. And I had thought
Yes.
when I had match made you, he's quite interested in he does quite a lot of hiking. And then I thought that you like to get out and about and go for nice walks as well. So I thought maybe that would be good, but I think maybe you were a bit mismatched there in the end.
Yeah, yeah. I think that was quite a problem there. And he's a really nice guy. I had such a great time. He was lovely. But it's just in terms of, yeah, physical activity. I'm like, I work out 2, 3 hours a day, and I have a body composition that's very muscly. I don't know. It is hard to find me a good match, to be honest.
And would you find many men in the gym or when you're doing these like Do you do bodybuilding or anything like that?
No, I don't do bodybuilding, but my muscles are very well defined because of pole dancing and because I work with a lot of strength conditioning. I work out at the gym, but it's mostly like a second help for my main sport, that is pole dancing.
I get you. Okay. And you've had no luck with finding, a man maybe in the gym that would have a
No,
similar
they don't.
hobby like you. No.
They don't talk to you. Guys don't talk to you anymore, not outside, not in the gym. I don't know, maybe because I'm too focused on doing my stuff and I always have my AirPods on. I don't know, maybe I'm not open to be approached. That could
Well,
be a
true. Well, I
reason,
do
but
hear that. Yeah, I hear that a
mhm.
lot that, people don't meet each other in real life anymore. Nobody's approaching anybody.
Listen, the other day I was in Belfast for a weekend and I was sitting in a bar waiting for someone for like 45 minutes by myself having a drink. For 45 minutes, a lady there on her 30s by herself, nobody approached me. In my country, that's very different, I would say.
You would definitely get approached in Venezuela.
Yes. Oh yeah, even in Spain, I think you will get approached. I don't know, things are changing here maybe. Before it wasn't like that. Like when I arrived, people approach you outside. But at least to me, it doesn't happen anymore. Maybe, I don't know, I look too serious or something.
Well, I don't know. Maybe COVID, people got so nervous, and then, you know, I don't know, people just don't have the men don't have the confidence anymore to approach a woman. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. I met all of my previous boyfriends in real life, well, like in a bar. Now people seem to just be meeting on Tinder or Hinge.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. Why would you approach someone when you can just hide behind the screen and you don't have to make a ton of effort and I don't know, maybe expose yourself to being rejected, which is tough. And I know that's one thing men carry on with the rejection on a daily basis.
Yeah, well, true. I wouldn't like to have the burden of having to approach somebody on my shoulders. I know that men generally it's thought that they should do it. I certainly have never like approached somebody and asked them out. I don't think I'd like the rejection. So yeah, I do understand.
It has been different, yeah, since COVID probably and having the dating apps there so easily as well. It
And
makes it just the lazy way.
well, it is. Yes, it is definitely. And tell me more about your date. So you met in Dolce Vita?
Yeah, it was in Dolce Sicily, was it?
That's it.
Yeah, we went to have a coffee and a cake, and we had really good chats about music and about our hobbies and interests. I think there was no chemistry between us, mostly like a friendly chemistry, probably,
Okay.
but not romantical. But we had a great time. Like it was, he had commitments afterwards, and me too. So it was a short date, but we had a good time. In my opinion, he was very decent, a gentleman. He treated me very well, and the conversation was nice and flowing.
Well, it's a pity there was no chemistry, but at least, it's nice, I suppose, to go on dates that you can come out and say, well, there was nothing there, but there are good people out there, nice people that you can
Mm-hmm.
have a nice time with. Because I know a lot of people go on dates where I think maybe weird things happen and it
Yeah,
can make you think, is there any good people out there? But there are.
we know about that because dating is tough. Yeah, sometimes you can encounter situations that leave you hopeless. But as you say, it's good to have these encounters where you think, okay, maybe there is hope. Maybe this guy is not for me. He's for maybe a friend of mine or someone else. But there is good guys out there.
Exactly. And how is the dating going for you now? Do you have any dates lined up? Are you even using the apps? What's going on for you?
Well, I'm there. I download them and then delete them again. And sometimes I talk to people, but at the moment, I don't know. I'm just focused on my things, and if someone nice with a good chat comes along, then I might give it a chance. But I'm not really open to find a relationship anymore. Like I'm looking towards other kind of goals because it's been too much of trying. So I
Yeah.
rather focus on other areas of my life.
Now, it can be very exhausting. And also, I have a few Brazilian friends and they have commented on dating and dating in Ireland and dating Irish men. and how Irish men immediately sexualize them. Would you find
Oh,
that's the
Jesus.
same?
Imagine, I'm a pole dancer and Venezuelan.
Oh, Jesus.
That's like the target for sexualization for sure, and a lot of misconceptions as well, because they have a lot of I guess judgments, uh, uh, like pre-made judgments about who you are by whatever they see on your Instagram or the first few chats that you have with them, and they already have an idea of you, and that's the way they will treat you from their own. That's why I put situations in the early stages always, because I find that we might not be a good match. They have some preconception about me without me showing them who I am as a person. So I'm like, this is not gonna work if I can't be myself completely, you know.
And I know you've sent me a few pictures of yourself, and like you obviously are very muscly and you take your pole dancing very seriously, and you can see that it's a sport. Like
exactly. But some people don't know. There is a lot of ignorance about it, and some guys have told me, "Oh, well, are you a stripper or what?" Even if I was a stripper, what's the problem about it? You know, it's
exactly.
a job,
if that was your job, but so then when you're out trying to find a man to date, then you're okay to be disrespected. Like, no, that's not the case.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but not everybody is like that. I have to say there is a lot of respectful men out there, and some Irish men can sexualize you. Not all of them. Some of them as well, maybe. They have a different culture than yours, and they just think that you're, I don't know, maybe not as familiar as they see Irish women, or they don't have the same, I don't know, religious beliefs or things in that sense. When, from my perspective, Latin American women, we are very familiar, and we have a lot of traditional background and religious traditional backgrounds. So it might be different, but at the same time, we have our own culture and traditions as well.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we're more free or more liberal, more sexual. Some people might be, but you can't generalize.
Do you find it easier to date South American men over Irish men? Like, do you find the culture easier to deal with?
I get asked this question a lot. It is easier to date someone from Latin America or a Spanish speaker in general. I think it will be easier for them to understand my context, my cultural context. It is superficial to say, but once you see a person and speak to them a little bit in your own language, you can kind of know what social background they have or economic background. You can know a little bit by prejudging, you know. So I guess when I speak with someone from my language, they could be more aware of my context of someone that doesn't speak my language would, or doesn't know too much about my culture would, you know, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, no, I understand. I get you. Well, thank you so much for giving us that explanation. I really hope that you find somebody nice. And I will keep an eye out and see if there's any nice muscly men, nice pale white men who are fit and into the gym and are able to keep up with Lucia. Let me know, and maybe we will find somebody together.
I'm always open. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you so much, Lucia. Talk to you soon. Maybe someday I'll get a second date going out with this matchmaking. My God. In the next episode in 2 weeks' time, I'll be talking to TikToker Casey Campion and Lauren Murta, two gas gals in their early 20s, getting a lot of attention on TikTok. And God love them, they have an awful track record with fellas. From weirdos to cheaters, they have had it all. And you might have even seen Casey's multi-part viral videos on TikTok where she's put her cheating ex story on blast. And of course then we'll talk to another couple who I set up on a blind date. If you'd like to collab, if you have a story for the pod, anything at all, get in touch. thedateinorange@gmail.com. Gurma.